We're focused. We're here. Hi, hello, and welcome to another YouTube video. I don't know if you can tell a difference, but guys, I'm filming on my new camera. I'm loving it so far. It's so much fun, and it just feels like it's opened up my video editing taking world, so that's good. That's exciting. I have to keep going to my laptop and touching the mouse pad to make sure that the laptop doesn't just shut off. Which I probably could go into settings and fix that, but I don't want to. And I actually got ready for the video. I got my makeup on. I even put on body spray. Am I wearing my pajama pants? Yes. Yes, I am. But I'm feeling good. So let's talk. So for this video, I wanted to kind of go over one of my classes for the semester. I took 2 art classes, a figure drawing and advanced illustration. And for this video, I wanted to focus on the advanced illustration class and the projects I did and the things I learned. This advanced illustration class is kind of like a senior level class. This class is designed for you to decide or design the class kind of for yourself. You decide what projects you're going to work on, your schedule, and you present that to the class and to the professor, and they approve it or give you suggestions. So my approved plan for the semester was to complete 5 projects. The first being a book cover, second a CD cover, third graphic novel page, fourth an editorial illustration, and the 5th project was a project assigned by the professor, which was to design and print stickers, which fit perfectly into my plan because my intent with these projects was to experiment and explore a publication type portfolio. My then current portfolio was geared more towards entertainment work, so I felt like starting with this semester and with this project I would start building up my publication inventory of work so I could just have those starting points and build it from there. So without further ado, grab your hydration of choice. Ooh, that's a sneak peek from one of my projects, my stickers. You'll see that later. And let's get into the video. For the first project, I worked on a book cover. I knew I wanted to do a cover for Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. I think that's how you pronounce it. If I'm wrong, sorry. But I had just watched the Netflix show last year and was absolutely obsessed and needed more, so I read her trilogy of the Grishaverse series and just loved it. It just reawakened that love for YA fantasy that I had growing up, and I just wanted to embrace that love for YA fantasy and fulfill that dream of designing a cover for a YA book. The process included me starting with thumbnail sketches to get the mood and composition that I was looking for and to figure out what I wanted in the cover and decide what I should keep out. I got help from my professor, classmates, and friends and family to decide what worked best, and yeah, we ended up with this. And it was also my intent from the beginning of this project to completely rely on line and value. I didn't want color, and if there was color, it would just be gold and probably just for the title and author's name, which is what I ended up doing. So I stuck with that plan and I really like how that turned out. So I studied a few artists while working on this project because it was a style I've always wanted to do but haven't fully embraced, and I had to learn from a lot of other artists how they accomplished using just line in their work but still differentiating between subject and objects, value. So some artists that I studied were Bernie Wrightson, Franklin Booth, Evan Kagel, Clodwig, and Rovina Kai. I mean, there's probably some other ones, but those are kind of the main ones that I kept referring to to kind of help me. I'm really glad I had those resources because it was difficult to figure out how to make a cohesive piece with line, like making sure that things didn't blend in together or that it just didn't fit because of the lines being too different from each other. I don't know how to explain it, but it was an interesting process, but it was a really fun process. And I think my favorite moment was when I kind of solved this problem of what line work to do for the creatures in the illustration. I had done the background first, loved how it turned out, and I didn't want it to be hidden or at the same time not to distract from the main focal point. So when I finally solved the problem of making the creatures black and then going in with white or erasing instead of doing a bunch of lines for them, I don't know. Just the process for that one helped them stand out from the background shadow fold and still keep all of the line and work that I worked so hard on in the back while not distracting from the creatures or the main focal point, which wasn't too hard to get her to be the focus because she was like pure white, so she's gonna stand out. But yeah, I learned those techniques and I think they're really helpful, and I want to continue working on them and doing more line-based work. I could spend hours just working on line, and that's something I realized while working on this project, and it made me really, really happy. The main thing I learned and got from this project was that I can trust my artistic decisions and I can create art the way that I want to. It doesn't have to be pre-approved and look like everyone else's. It can just be how I want to express my artistic voice, and that's kind of why I want to do art. So I'm glad I came to that realization. I also learned that I am already a working artist. I can trust myself to create quality and professional work. I think that was a huge step for me and something for me to realize that I don't have to be afraid that I am not capable of creating professional work, because I can't. I've still got a ways to go, but I can start work now. And I think I created a good quality finished piece. And I'm really happy with that. So my second project was the CD cover. I also knew from the start that I was going to be doing a Billie Eilish CD cover. I did a cover for her album When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? I decided to do that one because it has been an album that has inspired my work or artistic flow since the album came out. It just has the mood and beats that kind of help with my workflow and kind of get me focused and in the mood to create. So I wanted to do a CD cover for that album as kind of a tribute to that, for how much it's helped inspire me and get me to this point. And so for the process for this one, I started again with thumbnail sketches. My classmates helped me pick a couple to finalize, and we ended up going with a side profile shot with the hands. And again, with this CD cover, I wanted the focus to be on line, but also texture. I wanted to have the final drawing be done in a pencil, graphite like pen in Procreate. I used the 6B pencil, so I wanted to keep the quality of the lines sketchy and loose. I looked a lot at Eliza Ivanova. Along with her, I also looked at Wiley Beckert and Neva Hosking and Claire Wendling for line, and for color, I actually took inspiration from Cosimo Galluzzi. I just think he has so much fun with color, but yet it's flat coloring and fairly simple, and that's what I wanted to do with this project. I didn't know that at first, but eventually I came to that realization. The hard part of this project was the color, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do from the start with color. I just knew what I wanted to do with line, and I wanted a dark background, which I accomplished with a sketchy texture. I initially just had like a flat red layer. Like, that's cool, maybe I could just leave it at that, but then my professor kind of pushed me to kind of figure out how I could make it a little more interesting. I really love how it turned out. The colors are really fun and the final painting style is fun. Like, it's pretty simple and flat. The focus is on the line like I wanted, but I feel like I got the mood, texture, just overall theme I was wanting for the piece, and it turned out better than I initially had in my mind. The big thing I learned or took from this project was that I can use minimal color. I've been trying to force myself to be a detailed painter, and though I do want to do that, I think it's been good for me to see that I can create a portfolio or a bunch of finished work with minimal to no color, and along with that I don't have to use all the colors or even use realistic colors to depict the subject. You know, having a basic knowledge of color theory, I can create something that's not quite normal like what you would see in person, but it still works and then it looks cool. So for my third project, the graphic novel page, I knew what story I wanted to do. I had previously worked on a storyboard last year and just wanted to make that into a comic. I've always wanted to create comics and graphic novels, but was always scared to start and take on that big of a project because it's not something I'm used to and I'm not already good at. So I was scared to fail. I knew only good could come from starting now and working on it now. So I did. So for the process for this project, I started with those storyboard index cards and just took photos of them and imported them into Procreate and just kind of laid it out into like a graphic novel format. It was very basic, very amateur, and I brought it to class and my peers let me know that it could be better. And of course it was disheartening at first, but I was like, you're right, I can do better, I'm gonna fix it. So I worked on it and I brought it back and they told me more things I could fix, so I worked on it, brought it back, and that process repeated for a while. And I feel like in the past I would usually get disheartened at that point and think like, oh my goodness, I'm just not a good artist. I've come a long way since then and I realized this is only making me better. I want to do this for work. I want to be creating comics and graphic novels, and this is how I'm gonna get better at it and feel confident in my skill by getting these critiques and continually working on it. I knew I wanted to keep it simple. I just wanted to focus on line and value like with the other ones. I just had a simple kind of like ink wash brush that I got the values with and stuck with, I think, like a dry ink pen for the line work. Artists I studied for this project was mostly Tom Meyer and other various artists on Pinterest, which you can find on my board in the link down below if you want to check those out. I didn't have really many specific artists I was looking at, mostly Tom Meyer because of the comic pages I've seen of theirs. They were silent comics and just really about visual communication, and that's what I wanted to do with this comic. I didn't want it to rely on words, I really wanted it to rely on the emotion of the image. Things I learned from this project: take the critiques, do with them what you will, you don't have to take all of them, but take them in, give them validation, see if they're gonna work for your project, and if not, you can disregard them, and it's okay. You don't have to take every single critique that comes your way. It's your piece at the end of the day, and you get to make those decisions on how you want to convey your voice. For the fourth project, the editorial illustration, I actually didn't complete this project. I didn't even start this project. We got to the point in the semester where I just felt like I couldn't keep up as well. The pregnancy was getting harder and harder. I felt like I needed to drop the project, or just that one. So I talked to my professor about it and he agreed. He said it was okay. That's one thing I'm very grateful about this school. They're very aware of people starting families. You know, what I learned from that experience is communicate with your clients, with who you're working with. In the future, I would like to be able to work through my pregnancies and difficulties in life, but seeing as this was my first pregnancy, it was just a bit harder. And I am lucky that I could be in the situation that I am. I think just being able to communicate with your clients, with those you're working with, let them know what's going on is more important than, trying to push through and then coming to them the day before it's due and saying, I couldn't do it. Be transparent, be open with who you're working with, and things will turn out better than if you don't. For the last project, the stickers, I just wanted to have fun and just express myself by creating something I felt embraced my mood and aesthetic at the time. I don't know if it still does, but I really like the stickers. And my goal was really just to create stickers that I would personally buy and put on my sketchbooks or water bottles or whatever. And my professors asked, what's the meaning behind the stars or the fire or whatever? I'm like, there's no meaning. I just wanted to put it in there. And I thought it looked cool. And it's okay to do that. The process for these didn't take nearly as long as the previous projects. I finished each sticker within a day or two. What took time was getting them uploaded properly to print, but we figured that out. I got them printed with Spooky Stickers. They are located in Utah, a smaller business, and I really like how they turned out. I would definitely order from them again. I do feel like I have to be a bit clear in what I am wanting. Because there were some problems, I couldn't upload 4 stickers at a time. I could only upload 2 and only of a specific combination of the 2. It was really weird. So I sent them an email with the other 2 and they were awesome and included it in the purchase. That worked out fine, but they did print more of one sticker than any other and one sticker got printed less. I don't know how that happened or why that happened, but it did. I thought that was kind of weird. So I feel like if I were to order from them again, I would be very specific in how many I want of each sticker. I used my husband and myself for reference in these stickers, which was pretty fun. It was like, yeah, just pretty fun to use my own reference instead of like using a reference from the internet or from Pinterest. Like it completely my own take and design. So that was nice and fulfilling. I had a lot of fun playing around with the colors for the star one. I just went to Photoshop and went in the color slider and had fun with that. Came up and I actually printed ones that weren't the original color that I went with because I played around with that. So that was cool and fun. What I learned from this project overall was to just let myself draw. Just because I like how it looks, and that's okay. I can draw just for the aesthetic or just to create something that I would personally buy. I'm really glad that we had to get these printed and I made the investment in getting them printed to see how they look, and I found that I really love making stickers and I definitely want to be making more in the future. So yeah, look forward to more stickers, guys. That is what I did this semester and the things I learned, and I think overall just the biggest takeaway I got was really just to trust myself and trust in my artistic expression and let myself express my voice in the ways that I want to, and to not be afraid of speaking in a way that's different than other people. I just feel like I'm focusing more on what I want to be creating and putting into the world and doing professionally, rather than doing work for grades and for professors and getting so much input that I'm not putting my own voice into it anymore. I think that's a big step, a big progress, and I'm really happy with that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it to this point, comment down below what your favorite childhood book was. One that always comes to mind when I think of childhood books is Fairy Dust and the Quest for the Egg, which is no longer in print. So if anyone knows it, also let me know. Comment a star or something if you know what that book is. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.